let's have a look at David Warner in the tournament so far. And the one thing to notice is the strike rate every single time until today, because today was of course a late charge when he fixed it. But until today, even though he had got that 100 at Taunton, he had got the 89 to start with at Bristol against Afghanistan, all of them were strike rates that were showing he was feeling his way in, almost like a transformation Gale-like. The Gale of old who would go from ball one and the Warner of old who would go from ball one. So he's starting to think about it, and he knows that if he's maybe not in a bit of form, why not spend time out there?
Yeah, but we'll have to see going forward, is it going to be a good thing or a bad thing for the team? So now we're talking about how it's affecting the team. Individually, yes, he's stacking up those numbers. He's making sure that he's there when the wicket is on the slower side on a tough track. It really works wonders, because you need someone to anchor that one end for sure, and then others can take calculated risk and look to set the tempo, keep pushing that tempo higher and higher. So that's something which we'll have to wait and see. On a track like today, maybe the approach was a bit too conservative. So you look at someone like Rohit Sharma, right? He'll always approach the innings in that fashion, but his strike rate with every 30 sets of deliveries or 40 sets of deliveries goes on increasing. What was interesting in Warner's case, that he started with 100 strike rate.
Correct.
Then it went down for the longest period of time. So that's something. If you are set at that stage, it should be the other way around. So that is something which we'll have to wait and see how it evolves. If it's a consistent scenario, then it may not be such a great sign for the team, because you are actually setting the tempo, then you are letting that tempo go. You actually going backwards and then looking to accelerate. Then in this scenario, you want Warner to bat right till the end. If someone is taking this kind of having such a graph to the innings build up, then you want that guy to play as many deliveries as possible, which is not going to happen every single match. So on days which you've seen in India game, so when they're playing against India, he had batted for some 56 of 84 deliveries, but those 30 deliveries costed them maybe that game. That was the talk after that game, which was on a slowish track, but they felt that the middle overs, they could have taken that charge a bit early, because at times, like today when you've seen it, yes, they got to the score, but the risk taking was higher for the new batsman to walk in and start from the word go. You've seen it with Smith also. He didn't have enough time to build his innings. So that's something which they will have to sit together as a batting unit and figure out, whether it's actually a good, if you're scoring hundreds, then it's always good, there's no doubt about it. But when there are in between innings, we'll have to see what happens.
It seems a little strange. A guy's made the highest individual score of the tournament, piling on the runs. It's possibly because of the standards he set for himself and for the world?
I think definitely. And look, you see that, look at that 447 runs at 89.4. But look at the strike rate, and you look at the strike rate of the other four guys under him. 109, 103, 99 and 97. His strike rate is 87, and that's the one thing that they look at, and they'll say that, is he giving us, definitely, is he giving us every time the start that we want to take? And I think the bigger question is not whether he's giving you the start or not. The bigger question is, after getting a start and batting at 100, why is he going down to 80, 90? That's the question I think that, Zaheer wants to ask, because if it was that the reverse way around, that he started at, 70, 80 and was building to 100, that is understandable. It's the other way around. He went at 100 in the beginning and then went down.
And today he's batted pretty much half the innings. 25 overs was himself. And at one stage, you should have seen maybe a Rohit Sharma with that many deliveries after being set, playing towards the end of the innings, would have been 200 plus.
Well, when you talk about Warner, his capabilities are like that. He's got that hitting ability. It's not that we are talking about someone who is not capable of batting at that strike rate, or someone who is not capable of taking those chances. We have seen Warner being that carefree in nature, taking the chances, going after the bowling. We've seen Warner do that. Now, at the start of the inning, it's understandable that you're cautious, you're making sure that you are in and set, and then you are taking those chances. But here it's something else. So I think a lot has to be with the fact that he was not part of the team for about a year, and that is playing on his mind somewhere, psychologically, that he has to put up these runs, and he's got very slim margin of errors, or the fear of failure is very big in his head at the moment. It's just giving me that kind of impression that he wants to make sure that he's getting runs and he's cementing his spot. He's looking at it that way. So maybe it's just a question of the team management or the think tank or the authorities involved, be it Cricket Australia needs to have a chat with him on that line, in terms of making him feel at ease, making him feel at home. I think he's just kind of giving me a feeling that he's playing there, but he seems like an outsider in that team right now. It's like he's still not very sure of the fact that he belongs there and he's wanted there. This kind of scenario can happen when you feel that you're not wanted there, and the only way you can be there by performing
on runs.
Otherwise, you're not wanted. It's just kind of, I don't know, maybe I'm over analyzing, but these are the signs which you can pick from the way he's approaching his batting at the moment.